Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast.
All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast. First off, I hope you guys really enjoyed last week's episode with my good buddy Josh Criswell. Turn this audio down a smidge. I know there were some audio issues in the episode. I went back and kind of tinkered with it some, but it was basically just Josh and I both. I feel like we're not close enough to the mics. So the next in-person podcast is going to be better. I'll be more mindful of that. I do have some headphones that I could use, but excuse me, I honestly don't like hearing my own voice that loud in my head because it makes it very difficult to talk. So we'll just see how it goes. So this episode is going to be with my buddies Cody Dowdy and Garrett Cragle. Cody's been on before. Garrett's never been on before, so this is going to be a very interesting episode. I always love getting new people on because you never really know how they're gonna do, and I'm fully confident that it's going to be a great episode. But before we get into that, I got some major news. Finally, and if you're not watching this video, you need to watch this video. It'll be on YouTube for those of you that are listening on Apple, Spotify, whatever. But you don't even have to watch the whole thing. Just go to this part, okay? I'm just going to dive into the partners, okay? Because something happened that I have been working towards for, dude, so long. And it finally came to fruition and it's official. And so I can't wait to talk about it. But before we do that, we got to get into the partners. So this podcast is brought to you by the Sportsman's Empire. That is the podcast network that we are under. We've been under them, I think, since January. And dude, Sportsman's Empire has got a lot of amazing shows. So they've got ours. They've got one that I really like called Antlered Up, Nine Finger Chronicles, How to Hunt Deer, How to Hunt Turkey, all this other stuff. And dude, it's some really, really good content. So please go support them. Anything you do to help support them, you help support us. Now, on to the new partner for the podcast. Some of you that know me, that see me a lot or I talk to a lot, you know that this has been in the works since, dude, like November of last year. And finally, I can say that Lone Wolf Custom Gear is now a proud partner of this podcast. I know I used to work with a different tree stand company and they were great to me. The products were great, but I changed up how I hunt and I no longer need a climber. I've gotten very comfortable with sticks, very comfortable with hang-ons and the mobile setup, and I'm starting my mobile hunting journey with Lone Wolf Custom Gear. So dude, super hyped on that. I'm planning right now. It's on the books. We will get Cody DeQuisto on this podcast next month. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be a banger. But thank you to Zach for helping me make this happen. And thank you to Lone Wolf for believing in me. And, I cannot wait to see where this goes. So if you guys are looking for new tree stands, head over to Lone Wolf Custom Gear right now and go check out the Patriot series, which is their cast aluminum stands that are a little bit more affordable. They're still just as good of quality as all, other Lone Wolf stuff has been in the past. And they have the whole setup. They've got the stand, they've got the sticks. You can either get the Alpha or the Assault 3. Dude, those stands are sick. But what I decided to run is I'm going to be running the Lone Wolf Custom Gear .75. To me, it is the most versatile stand for what I want to do. And who knows, I'm still very new to this. I may end up wanting to go with a .5 or something, but it's going to allow me to get into trees that I probably wouldn't have gotten into before. And it's not too big. It's not too small. I feel like it's the perfect size. And if you're looking for some sticks, they got a bunch of different sticks you can choose from. It was kind of a toss up for me between I think it's the compact doubles. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what I was looking at. Um, because sorry, Cody just texted me. Let's see here. He's asking. I put the them in a group chat, and Cody's like, "Who is that?" It's Garrett, dude. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm looking it up right now. All right, and the toss up for the sticks that I was um I was trying to figure out what sticks I wanted to run. It was between the V2 doubles and the compact doubles. Okay, so I was right. And my thing is, I'm so used to using the Versa button style of stuff that I wasn't too sure I wanted to go away from that. But the V2 doubles, I can't remember exactly what Zach said, but I'm pretty sure it's something like four of them together is like an inch to inch and a half thick, and they're extremely light. I've watched enough videos on them to know how they work, and dude, it's Lone Wolf. Like you are going to know that this is the highest quality that you can get. Um, so I'm going to be running the V2 doubles with the .75 this coming deer season, and we're doing it in the mobile game. I'm so excited. And so because you guys need to be watching this video, right? Stay tuned, okay? Because some other partners and stuff, they have a little bit of affiliation with this as well. So next up, Osseo Gear. They've been working with Lone Wolf for a long time. I know that Joe and them all really like their tree stands and whatnot. um, dude, I just it feels like joining just a very prestigious family, right? I mean, it's just crazy. I honestly cannot believe that this is happening. All these amazing partners that we have, but Osseo Gear is the camo brand that I'm going to be using. I actually was playing around with my leafy jacket the other day, and dude, it's going to be a deadly setup this year. It's going to be a very deadly setup this year. Um, let's see, and then all right, so we got the boutique. So the boutique, I just got my arrows back. I don't have any with me right now to show you, but I got them fully built over at Ace, running some Jesus wraps, which you guys know I love the Lord, so I try to have him involved in everything that I can do. And dude, the arrows look sick, and the wraps look so good. So if you guys need new wraps, head over to the boutique, go get some new wraps. Next up, G5 Outdoors. Obviously, I'll be running the Mega Meet this year. Maybe I might go get some T2s. Um, but I've been hearing really good things about that Dirty Bird head, and I unfortunately have not had the time to go turkey hunt. I mean, there was probably a couple of days I could have gone, but I was never able to get my setup completely done. So yeah, missed out on it this year. There's been a lot going on at home, so I know I'm not going to have time to go before TAC. I don't even know if we still have. I don't even know if turkey season um, goes after TAC. I might have to look at that. But anyway, G5 Outdoors, that's the broadhead I use. You guys, I'm sure you guys have heard about the Mega Meat, the Dead Meat, the T2, the Dirty Bird, even the Montec for you fixed blade guys. So if you need broadheads, that's the way to go. Next up is going to be Prime Archery. You can see my form back there behind me. And my divide is right over here to my right. Cody is blowing my phone up, man. I guess I got Garrett's number wrong, so that's embarrassing, but it's all good. Anyway, Prime Archery, that's the bow brand that I have been shooting now for 2 years, and I absolutely love it. This Divide 31 is fantastic. Definitely bow of the year, in my opinion. So if you guys need a new bow, I mean, it's only April, so if you need a new bow, go and get one. And I highly recommend that you go get a Prime. They make 4 different sizes, 2 different brace heights, and a ton of different colors. So yeah, just remember, nothing aims like a Prime. All right, so now on to the one that I was talking about, dialed archery. So I've had this proof for like 2 months. All right, it's sighted in, it's ready to roll, and I'm about to show it to you guys. You may have seen it on a TikTok video that I posted. If you did, then you already know what's up. But check this out. Hope I can get it in the frame, but that right there, that is a Lone Wolf custom gear dialed proof, baby. We are just completely lone wolfed out. And yeah, man, like I said, that right there, just to me, that is a goal that I really didn't think I was going to hit. And Dialed Archery knocked it out of the park. So if you guys are looking to get a new sight, Dialed has you covered. All right. The Proof is the best sight on the market by far. And I really like the small batch stuff that they do. I can't wait to see what this year's small batches are going to be. They've already done a couple, I think. But the new stuff is going to be sick. So yeah. And if you're going to TAC, go say what's up to the Dialed Archery family at the booth. Let's see. Next up, Moultrie. Cam's been working great. I actually I need to text Mark and get with him about doing another podcast and talk about the things that are coming up this summer with Moultrie. He kind of gave me a little bit of a hint last year, and I'm excited. So if you guys are looking for cameras, head out to Moultrie. Head over to any place that sells. I'm I'm not gonna say any place, but I know Tractor Supply, Walmart, what's that other one? Academy, they've all got it. And trust me, those Moultries, they won't let you down. Let's see. Next up, bow hunting league. So some big things happening with bow hunting league. Unfortunately, can't talk about it right now. Once Ben gives me the go ahead, you'll be hearing from me a lot about it. But if you guys want to be a state sponsor, go ahead and sign up. It's $100 a year. You get a ton of perks. You get your, I think you get a banner. You get your name on the shirt that, the state you live in. Anyone that kills a buck that gets that shirt is going to have your name on it. So if you run like a bow hunting page or archery page or just an outdoor page or a hunting page, or you own a company and you want to be a sponsor of that, you can join, and it's only $100 a year. Let's see. Next up, Scrape Doctor James is coming on in a couple of weeks, so we're gonna do some scrape refreshing or scrape refreshers, I guess, on a podcast soon. Victory Archery, I'm running the HLRs, and next week, I do believe that Brandon from Victory is scheduled to be on the podcast, so we are going to do a deep dive into the arrows next week. I'm very, very excited about that. Those HLRs are amazing by far. I know last week I said I was thinking about switching the rips. I still have some, but those HLRs, I really, really tinkered with them, and best arrow on the market right now. Let's see. Next up, Catalyst Archery. If you were watching the video, or if you're watching the video right now, you can see my two orange stabilizers. I think that is kind of the icing on the cake with my bows. It looks so freaking good, and you can tell I've got orange everything. It's kind of what the podcast sort of adopted. And so yeah, if you want stabilizers at an affordable price with the same high quality that you're probably used to, or maybe you're not used to, and you're going to spend the same amount you would for a cheap little dinky stabilizer, and you're going to get something that is great quality, head over to Catalyst Archery. That's what I use. He's got amazing prices, amazing deals, and best of all, the product is just fantastic. And last but not least, Unbound Archery, which if you're watching the video, you can now see my bow because I put it a little bit further back behind me. And you can see that I am running the orange, flow orange strings on everything. So, dude, Unbound, best strings in the game. I know a lot of people like other companies, and that's perfectly fine. You're allowed to like whatever you want, but having shot a bunch of different bows with a bunch of different strings, I gotta say these Unbound strings are not only aesthetically pleasing, but the quality is top notch. No peep twist, no issues whatsoever. Um, Dude, Nick does an amazing job. And also, you know what? I'm gonna do this little plug for Nick. If you guys want to see one of the sickest bows I've ever seen, head over to Nick's YouTube channel, Unbound Archery, and go watch his new bow that he's got. I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but go watch his video, and you're gonna get a kick out of it, just like I did. So that is all the partners. Thank you again to Lone Wolf and everybody else that I named off. I literally could not do this without you guys. I'm very excited for this deer season and being able to use top-notch gear with everything that I use. Um, Very blessed, man. Very blessed. And yeah, so before we get into with Cody and Garrett, actually, I need to go ahead and fix that. Um, so Garrett knows what's going on. So I know this is unprofessional, but I am going to fix this. Fix this contact real quick on air. But let's see. He said 6-1. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, should I? Um, yeah, things have been absolutely wild lately, and so this is legitimately um why I have been struggling so much. And I unfortunately haven't been able to post as many things. I'll sort of ramble a little bit. We were going to move, and our end goal is to still move. But yeah, long story short, things didn't exactly pan out. We found a really good house, an amazing house really, that Jessica wanted, and we thought it was going to be within our price range. And unfortunately, after we broke down you know, the pricing and everything, turns out it's not going to work. So God saved us from I guess living. I'm not gonna say living in poverty, but living in a life where we're gonna be struggling a lot, and I can't thank him enough for that. Speaking of the Lord, so now that I got that fixed, look, man, I it's been a rough week. All right, it's been a very rough week, and I really hope you guys are still kind of tuned into this because this is important. Um, I I had some moments, and some of you that are listening that are Christians probably have felt what I'm about to say, but I've had some moments, man, where I feel like a hypocrite to you guys. And I say that because, I'll come on here and I'll say how amazing Jesus is, which it's all true. It's all true. And the things that I used to love, I now hate. And the things that I used to hate, I now love. And what I mean by that is my sinful nature. I hate it. I used to not be bothered by it, right? But what I've noticed is I still struggle with stuff. And when I struggle with stuff, I feel like a hypocrite, to be completely honest. I feel like, there's times where I'll be talking to one of my buddies or something and he'll ask advice and I'm over here just, telling him the word, right? And while it sounds good, I know who I am on the inside. I know, what I've done and what goes through my head and all this other stuff, man. And it's like, who am I to even do that? Right? I mean, there's times where I really feel like, who am I to even talk about this on the podcast? And I know that's the devil's lies, right? But it's also a little bit of I feel like, my change of an outlook on life, you know. Had a very, very heart to heart discussion with Jessica last night where I basically just put it all on the table and I'm like, listen, this is what I'm struggling with. I want to be here, but I'm here. And, it kind of goes back into the men's mental health thing we've talked about. But I think what this is I read the words and I know what I need to do, but I still don't always do what I need to do. I don't live the life that I feel like God fully wants me to live. And I'm not saying all this to sound depressing. Okay. I'm not. But it is something that happens. And sometimes those lies get a little bit louder than I would like them to be. And what I mean by that is like, having the thoughts of, oh man, I'm not good enough, right? Or I'm not doing enough, or my faith isn't strong because I say this one thing, but then I do another. And it makes me think of what Paul said in Romans, where he said, I do the things that I don't want to do, and I don't do the things that I want to do. How wretched of a man am I, right? I mean, that's directly out of the Bible. And I just have to remember that, I have given everything over to Jesus. And um, even when things seem hard, even when things seem like I am the worst of them, I know that he's there. I mean, he paid it all on the cross, right? And I mean, I've seen a change, y'all. I've seen a change in my family. I've seen my wife go from I was scared to talk about the faith with her. And that's not anything on her. It's just I didn't want to be one of those pushy Christians, right? I didn't want to be one of those, you know, like some people think that when you're a Christian, you think everyone that's not a Christian is going to hell. Regardless of what it might say, I'm not one of those people that's going to be fire and brimstone, right? I love everybody. I do my best to love everybody. I try to, show fruit from my faith. And we have gone from a family that did not go to church, never talked about Jesus, didn't even know Jesus, but would still say, "Oh yeah, we're Christian. We believe. We believe that he was a real person and that he died on a cross and rose again, but we never really understood what that meant. We had no relationship with him." And to go from that to now, right now, as I'm recording this, my wife is upstairs watching uh, a TV series on Angel Studios. And when she got home today, she was listening to Christian radio music, and just the fire that I've seen be lit in her, it's answered prayers. It's answered prayers. And I cannot thank God enough for that. So those of you that are questioning it, those of you that are wondering, should I do this? Should I not? Sometimes it's not instant. I mean, I certainly have not given up everything that I used to do. A lot of it I have, right? And I've seen a huge change in myself. Me and Josh talked about it last week, but there's still parts of me that, man, this is a really long intro. I'm sorry, guys. But there's still parts of me that fight tooth and nail, to come to the surface that that's the old me. And the new me is winning, right? But there's still times where I fall. And those times can get pretty rough. But thankfully I have Jesus to pull me out of it. And you can too. So if you guys have any questions, or if you live in the area and you want to come to a really good church, let me know. Shout out to Stanton Springs and Social Circle. We love you guys. You guys are like a new family for us. And it was horrible having to miss it last week, but unfortunately, we had to get the house pretty much put together because we were trying to sell it. And it looking back, I really wish that we didn't skip, but it is what it is, right? And I texted my buddy, the deacon, Matt, and told him, I was like, hey, man, probably not going to make it. He totally understood. Everything was fine. Um, and we'll be back there this weekend. So this is coming out after we go back. But if any of you guys um, want to find a church that is the most loving, inviting, amazing place, let me know, and I will give you the address. So, all right, that was the the deep conversation, the deep intro. Let you guys know about the Lone Wolf stuff. I'll be posting stuff about the bow shoot, probably next week once life kind of settles down a little bit, and I need to get everything confirmed with Thomas. So I think that's pretty much it. TAC is in a week and a half. Actually, I think it's next weekend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the week of TAC that this podcast drops. So we will be up there in Tennessee. I hope to see you guys. If you're going to be up there on Sunday, shoot me a text or hit me up on socials or whatever. Um, Please like and review this podcast or the YouTube if that's where you're watching it. Check us out all social medias, and let's get into it with Cody Dowdy and Garrett Cragle. Been a little triple party today. I would have said three-way, but I feel like that's a little bit too weird. Um, we got Mr. Cody Dowdy and Garrett Cragle on here. Cody's been on before. Garrett has not. Garrett, actually, you reached out to me on Instagram and listened to the podcast, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I
man. I'm so sorry. I just want to apologize on behalf of all the episodes that the audio was terrible. Um, and having to listen to me ramble for God knows how many hours. But I do appreciate you coming on, and you've said some very kind words. So you did make me feel kind of nice. So I appreciate that. But yeah, dude, I want to get into who you are because I've only known you now for like a month, and you're a great dude. I'll say that right off the bat. And I just want people to get to know who you are. So take it away. Tell us who you
yeah,
are.
I appreciate it. One, I want to thank you for making my 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job go by so much faster. Um, and yes, you can tell there's an audio difference about, I think I just started listening about a month or so ago, and I started going back and forth, and yeah, there's definitely an audio
Oh
difference
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
But
the
hey,
fact that I literally was able to land anybody who wanted to work with this podcast with my terrible audio before, it's a blessing. That's all I can really call it. So,
everybody's got to start somewhere, you know?
yeah, for 3 years. If you have you gone back? Did you go back to the very first episode?
No, I did not.
Oh, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Cody knows what I'm talking about, man. It's bad. Like I'll basically sum it up for you in 30 seconds. I started off with saying, "Hey guys, my name's Eric. I run Southeastern Bowhunter podcast. I haven't killed many deer. This was, before I even killed this buck behind me, right? So I was like new
Mhm.
to it. And I was like, I haven't killed many deer, but I've seen some. I actually saw a 160-inch buck on said WMA, and like an idiot, I said what WMA, and it was just me being like, yeah, and I was chasing a really nice buck the year before, and I've got a lot to talk about with arrows. I'm currently learning, and I think that for the new people that were listening to it, they were probably like, oh, this kid has no idea what he's doing. So let's
Mhm.
see how it goes. And yeah, man, 100 and what are we on right now? Actually, this is episode 180. I just realized that. So
There we go.
179 episodes later, and somehow I'm still able to do this. So,
Hey, you're doing a great job. I'll tell you that much. And don't
well,
worry
I
about the
appreciate it.
WMA thing. I dropped my first TikTok. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It was all my trail cam pictures from Wise Eye, and
Yeah,
I looped a song in there, and I'm watching it back, and I was like, wait a minute. The bottom of my camera shows my grid coordinates, and that's like behind the house.
that's pretty bad.
So I had to delete the video after it already had 600 and some odd views,
Oh no.
and then go back in and try
Ah,
to
dude.
delete all that. But
Yeah, that's
I
rough.
fixed it. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, we learn from mistakes, right?
Hmm.
I mean, that's the name of the game. So, all right, I'm gonna hit you
Anyways,
with my usual on new guests. All right. So, how did you get into hunting?
so I grew up in a hunting family, but the hunting family was just rifle season in Pennsylvania, and rifle
Wow.
season for deer at the time when I first started hunting was Monday after Thanksgiving into like the third weekend of December, and then it
Mm.
was it. Um, and
Dang, that's
then
short.
yeah,
That's really
and
short.
I was in middle school, I was in like sixth grade, and I wanted to get into basketball real bad
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Like nobody in the family played basketball, but I just
What
wanted
what
to
year
try
was
it.
this?
I want to say it was around like 2007-ish. I
Okay.
was 11 years old.
Okay. So Michael Jordan had already retired.
Yeah.
That's what I was going with because when I was a kid, dude, Michael Jordan, I thought I was going to be the next, like, could jump 20 feet and dunk with my tongue hanging out. I ended up being 5'8". So there, I'm more like Spud Webb than Michael Jordan, really, and probably a few shades lighter, but um, which is fine, you know. I mean,
Mhm.
whatever. But I can't jump like
I'm
Mike.
5'6".
What they do make trampolines, so we could do it. We could do it, Cody. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe
The
that's what we'll
Harlem
do one year.
Globetrotters, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Well,
guys
so
can start
funny
your own
enough,
deal wearing mossy oak and dribbling
yeah,
basketballs.
yeah, they'll call us the Wood
And it's funny,
Riders
the
or
other
something.
day he said, "Yeah, in 2007 I was 11." I'm like, "You're a baby." I'm
Oh,
almost
dude,
40. I'm almost 40.
I was 12.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're
Yeah,
young,
we're
all
close to the
right?
same age.
We don't have gray hairs yet.
No, well, I'm sprouting a few in a
Yeah.
beard.
Oh, dude, yeah. I can't say anything. I've got white hairs. So I'm
Yeah.
full of it. I'm so full of it.
But
Um,
to
yeah.
get back to it, I so I was trying to play basketball, and the problem was there were a couple practices that ran into hunting camp, and my
Mm,
dad's like, "You're either gonna hunt or you're gonna play basketball." And I played basketball for a year, and I sat most of that time on the bench. And I was
mm,
like, you know what? Hunting would be so much better than this.
yeah.
So then I got into hunting, and it kind of grew from there. I had asked my dad about taking me out for turkey. I was worried because I was a tiny kid, and
Hmm.
I didn't eat a lot of food. I was real picky as an eater. So I was worried about the kick on a shotgun. And my dad's like, "Well, we'll take you out with the 410." And he handed me some old bolt action 410 shotgun. And we went out, and I had a huge turkey in front of me, big old Tom strutting at 30 yards. And my dad was in my ear saying, "Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it,
Yeah.
shoot it. Are you going to shoot it? Shoot it." Well, there was a stick in front of it, and I didn't think I was going to be able to hit it. So
Yeah.
that turkey spit and drummed his way down off the ridge and out of
Oh,
our lives. And my dad like spun me around. He's like, "What are you doing?
yeah.
You can't just let that bird walk like that. We just called him in." Well, I let him walk. Well, then I explained to him, I said, I didn't think I was going to be able to kill him. I thought, the whole pattern would get blowed up, then it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Okay, you're going to sit with your great grandfather's 16 gauge." And it's a side by side 16 gauge. It's like a 1918 Springfield 32
Dang.
inch barrels. And I sat down with that, and we didn't even take it to the range. He said, "You're just going to shoot it. You're not going to feel it when the turkey's in front of you. You're just going to shoot." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay." Well, that same bird came out with a Jake, and I put the bead on the Jake.
Mm.
And my dad's like, "Don't you dare shoot that turkey. You need to wait." And I was like, "I'm waiting, I'm waiting." And the Jake gets out in front of us and the decoys. And next thing you know, this big Tom comes right behind him, just giant bird, that one.
Nice.
And I flopped him at, I think he was a little over 20 yards. And I sat behind that fan, and you can only see my head.
Oh,
I
wow.
was so small. My dad was super excited for me, and from that day on, I needed to figure out how I can be the next Michael Waddell.
Yeah, that's a tall order, but
It is.
it's possible.
Yep.
It is. It definitely is.
I mean, hey, it sounds like me, dude. When I figured out who Seek 1 was, I thought I was the baddest thing out there, because I had some 130s. There you go.
That sequence for
Yeah.
wrong.
I
Yeah.
love those guys too. Like I wouldn't want to be them because now I know what Lee does and I'm like, dude, how in the world,
Mhm.
Hmm.
you know? Um, but yeah, dude, it is funny like when you first get into it, you think you're just gonna slay every single thing that's out there. and then
Oh, I know.
you get humbled real quick,
Hmm.
right? Um, that's awesome. I mean, see, I didn't grow up in a hunting family. So for me, I love hearing this. I lived through that because it's like my uncle hunted, but he only
Hmm.
went once a weekend in Illinois and it was shotgun season. He'd sometimes come back with a deer, sometimes he didn't. He gave me a couple of skull caps of like Forkies and stuff, and I thought they were the biggest things in the world. And then he comes home with this giant like 148 point, which for Illinois is like, I mean, it's good. It's good anywhere, but for Illinois,
Hmm.
that's like a 3-year-old. And he still has it. And every time I go to his house, I'm just like, God, dude, I wish I could
Well,
just
I'll
find
tell
some.
you, Eric, the deer for me isn't as exciting as turkey is. I don't get me wrong, man. I love shooting a big buck.
Yeah.
I love, when the rut comes in and the deer are chasing, hearing the grunt, hearing the leaves crunch. I love it. But when I'm sitting there in the archery woods during fall turkey season in PA, because it overlaps during archery, so I could shoot a turkey with the bow.
Yeah.
Um, but when I'm sitting there and that turkey gobbles, immediately I'm right into the spring woods. I'm like,
Dude.
oh man, I start mouth yelping without a call. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, yelp, trying to get them to come in.
Yeah. I mean, I listen, I'll forgive that one comment because saying that turkeys are better than deer is heresy on this podcast. But it's okay. It's okay. Um, no, I'm joking. I have this weird thing, and like I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before on the podcast where me and turkeys just got beef, dude. I don't know
Well,
what it
I
I
heard you in your last episode say, I hate turkeys.
I do. I really do. And I think okay, so the reason I said that is because I put so much effort into deer hunting, right? My wife will tell you it's like uh, end of July. I mean, my daughter and my wife's birthdays are in August. And you can imagine how hard it is when my mind is like deer, 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 deer. And then
Hmm.
it's like, oh wait, wife and child. I have to put them first. But as
Yep.
soon as September rolls around and our season kicks off, every single day I'm looking at cameras. I'm trying to figure out like what to do. And so I get so burnt out that when turkey season comes around, it starts warming up. I don't like the heat. I don't like ticks. I don't like any of that. So it's like, am I really going to go and sit in the heat? I want to. I want to go turkey hunting. But the thing for me is like deer all look different. And I've been obsessed with them since I was a kid, right? But every
Right.
single deer looks different in some type of way. I know turkeys probably do, but to me, they all look the same. And I've also been chased by a group of jakes before. I had a turkey square up with me at a zoo one time, and then I had a hen try to square up with me at work 2 years ago. So I, I don't know what the deal is. And it's like every time I go scout on public, I somehow find turkeys, whether it's in season or out of season. So
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't hate them necessarily, but I also like to use this time to sort of, change up all the equipment that I'm using, right? Like do
Right.
different setups on the bow, shoot a new bow, um, spend time with the family. I mean, that's the biggest thing is this time of year is family time for me.
Hmm.
So it is a little hard. I probably shouldn't have said I hate turkeys, but I don't
That's
like them, you know?
I don't take offense to it. I started getting really heavy into archery uh, a few years ago.
My
I
man.
bought a Bear Vast ready to hunt bow,
Ooh, from
and I
Walmart?
was no from
Ah, damn.
Field and Stream at the time.
Wait, Field and Stream has a
We
store,
we
or
had
you
a
got it
Field and
online?
Stream in Erie, and then
No
Sportsman's
way.
Warehouse bought them out.
What? I didn't know
So
that. See, all we got is
yes,
Bass Pro and like the
oh
local
yeah, I
shops.
wish, but
It's probably very similar. I went to
yeah,
Shields in Colorado, and it's the only difference is they have a Ferris wheel and an elevator. That's it. Everything
we
else is the same.
my wife and I went to Colorado, and that was the first time I actually got to walk into a Bass Pro Shop,
Really?
and I
They
was
don't
like,
have them out by you?
uh-uh. I mean, they do, but they're Pittsburgh area.
Mm,
I think
okay.
Pittsburgh has a Cabela's. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of my shopping online now just because Sportsman's Warehouse barely carries anything that I need.
Yeah. It is
But
funny, like how because I went through, I mean, how long you've been shooting a bow now?
um 5 years.
5 years? Okay. So wow, you're pretty much right in line with me then. Because I think I started in either end of 2020 or beginning of 2021. I don't remember exactly, but
I
um Dude, it's funny that like I used to think Bass Pro was the place. I used to be like, man, I'm gonna go get a new bow at Bass Pro. Like my first bow, you can't see it, but it's literally sitting over here. It's my wife's bow now. It's got little dainty blue and pink strings. It's super cute. But yeah, dude, I went in there and I'm like, oh man, they got all bears. They've got a bunch of different brands. I knew nothing about Matthews, Hoyt, Prime, uh,
Hmm.
all the other guys. And then I walk into the local shop and I had them set it up for me, and it was the worst experience of my life. Like I still to this day will not talk to the guy that did it. Thankfully, he doesn't work there anymore. Um, I think you know who I'm talking about, don't you, Cody?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No names will be said, but unfortunately, he's still working on bows. Let's just say that. Um, but yeah, dude. I mean, I walked in there and I'm like, what's all these brands? Because I didn't know. I thought they were like low end brands, and then I find out no, those are top tier. Like these are the top of the top, and they're all $2,000. So
Hmm.
it was a culture shock. It really was. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what your archery journey has been. I mean, what are you shooting? I know you got the new bow, which we can talk about, but what were you shooting before that?
So I had that bear, and I did kill two deer in one weekend with that bow,
Dang.
and that
Okay.
happened 2 years ago, I believe.
Sheesh.
I dropped a big doe. I was sitting on my phone in the tree stand. I was bored. I was on the father-in-law's property.
Yeah.
Um, because it was first thing in the morning and I had walked in, and usually when I go to the tree stand, I practice like I'll take real slow steps if I got to walk across the leaves, and I will grunt my way into the tree stand sometimes,
Hmm.
just because it's just to try to sound like a deer.
Yeah.
Um, and I got up in the tree and I heard snort wheezing down through the woods, and it was
No.
dark, and we knew of a big buck in the area at my father-in-law's, but it's surrounded by farm corn,
Yeah.
soybean
Bunch of
fields,
ag and all
the
that
whole
stuff.
9 yards. But he doesn't have a farm. He's just got a wooded area with a couple food plots out front. So I texted my father-in-law and I said, "Hey, when you walk out, just, try to be quiet or take the path, because there's a buck down here snort wheezing. Like he
Hmm.
heard me grunting in, and I'm all set and I'm waiting for him to come in."
Was the sun up yet?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
dude. So you're just in the dark and all you hear is
Yep. Yep.
that's
It was
amazing.
it was spine chilling.
That's so cool. Yeah, that scared the crap out of me, dude. I'd
Yeah.
be like, is that a skinwalker? What's going on here? If I didn't like, especially if I wasn't thinking about it, that would
Mhm.
that would trip me out a bit.
So I got in like I'm in the tree stand and I'm sitting there patiently, not on my phone because I didn't want any light, and I just put my phone down after that text, and I hear the door open and close, and then I hear him walk down the center of the woods. He
Hmm.
didn't get my text, and it's
Ah,
his property, and it's my father-in-law. I
well,
love him to death.
yeah,
Um,
but still.
And I was like, oh, well, there goes that opportunity. That's fine. So sun comes up and I'm sitting on my phone and I've been surrounded by squirrels all morning. And I
Typical.
start hearing noises in front of me. I didn't even look up. I was like, ah, it's some squirrels again. Well, I finally take my phone and I put it down and I look up and I got two doe walking towards me.
Yep. God, I
And
have lived that so many times.
I was like, oh boy. So I stood up real slow and I'm gauging the way they're reacting to me moving in this tree stand that they were walking straight towards. And I was able to reach over, grab the bow, range where they were going to be, which was
Yeah.
30 yards. And I stopped her. I drew on her, stopped her, and I stuck her, and she hit the ground immediately. I was shooting a fixed blade. I couldn't tell you the brand. I bought it on
Yeah.
Amazon. What had happened was it exploded off her scapula and ended up in her spine.
Yep.
And
That's
it
where I was
dropped her
going with
right
that.
there. And her little one, who was probably just fresh out of spots, um, stood there for a little bit.
Mm,
And I was like, to me, I was like, oh man, she's laying there, she is dying, but now her little one is there and they were still traveling
traumatized.
together. Now I kind of feel bad.
Yeah.
And so I got her to leave and I got down, finished off the doe, and we got her taken care of. And then that Sunday came around and my first archery buck stepped out.
Hey, that's a good
Little
first
dinky,
buck, man.
yeah, dinky
Dude,
little
I'd
seven
shoot
point.
that.
Now the cool thing with this bow was I was shooting. Have you heard of the pendulum sight from True Glow?
Yes.
It's
Yeah, I have.
it's it's cool technology out to like, and they say it's accurate out to 30, which is true.
Mm.
Anything past 30 is like you're shooting kind of funny. you gotta you gotta kind of gauge after that. But you can take from 10 to 30 from the tree stand, I guess, with that pendulum sight.
There we go.
Um, this buck I grunted in, and a button buck walked just under the tree stand, and this guy stepped out of the tree that I was watching him at about 30 yards, and I gave him the most perfect heart shot I've ever seen, and I didn't even think I was going to hit him. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to soar right below him, and he sunk to the ground, and that arrow soared right through him, and all
Oof.
I could see was a red carpet, and I hit him with a rage hypodermic.
Oh God. How
Yeah.
far did he go? Like 5 yards?
No, he went about 40.
That's
And I
still,
watched him do one of these numbers and he
yep,
fell over. I was in tears, man. I was so
dude.
happy.
I love that.
I texted my father-in-law. I said, "Oh, buck down, buck down, buck down."
Dude, that's gnarly. I've killed two deer with rage. And now don't judge me. It was out of a crossbow. But I didn't have a bow at the time. So Kurt, if you're listening, I promise you I'm not gay. But I all that aside, one of the deer actually, I'm looking at him right now. You can't see him on camera, but he died. I shot him, same thing you said, heart shot. I probably got double lung, honestly. And he went 10 yards, toppled over. I thought he was dead. I go back over there and you guys listen to the podcast. I really respect deer, right? And
Mhm.
I try to have a connection with everything that we do. And I was thanking God for it. Well, I put my hand on his neck and I could feel a pulse still, and his eyes were still open. And I'm like, and this dude's got a hole in his chest, all right, literally like that freaking big.
Yeah,
And I thought he was done. He wasn't done yet. And yeah, that was you made me think of that when you said the hypodermic and when you were talking about the spine shot doe, because I'm like, dude, it some people that will traumatize you, like it really will.
yeah,
So hey, you got it done early, you don't have to now, right? Like
yeah.
you know what's gonna happen or what can happen, right?
Right.
So then before you got that new bow, were you still shooting the vast or did you change up?
Well then after I killed those deer and then our anniversary, mine and my wife's anniversary, I kept telling her I want a new bow, I want a new bow. Well, one of her friends' uncles used to hunt and he had a bow up in the attic and I'm sitting there on the couch and she comes out. My amazing wife comes out and she's got this hard, big, giant hard bow case. And on the case it says Hoyt. And my first question was, how much did you spend on this? And she goes, it was free.
Dude,
I was like,
I
no
love those
way. So I
stories.
open it up and it's the one behind me that's kind of covered up by the scarf and the deer skull. It's
Yeah.
a '05 Hoyt Ultra Mag with the
Ooh.
cam and half system.
Okay.
And I was super excited. And then I won a sight on accident because of honesty from Second Amendment Outdoors.
Oh, I love
Uh,
those guys. I
yeah,
absolutely love those. We're gonna go shoot with them at TAC next weekend. I cannot
yeah,
wait.
yeah. He sent me a message on Instagram, and I'm sitting there, and he's like, "Hey, man, you won the new site, the Trophy Ridge Digital React site."
Oh wow.
And I was like, so I
What?
messaged him back. I said, I don't remember entering this or anything. He said, well, I sent a couple messages to your TikTok. And I was like, I didn't have TikTok at the time. He goes, you are your average hunters, right? And I said, no, at the time, my name on Instagram was your average hunter,
Mm,
not hunters. And I
yeah.
told him that. And he goes, okay, what's your phone number? So I was talking to him on the phone. He said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this person another week or so to respond. And
Yeah.
if they don't, the site's yours. Thank you for being honest and not just jumping right on it.
Dude, I
And I
love
was
those
like,
guys so
Mhm.
much. Kevin
I
and
the
them
bet.
are
whole,
amazing.
yeah, that whole
That
week.
just is a testament to those guys.
Right.
Like their character and everything. I mean, man, that is awesome.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to
So,
give him a big hug when I see him next week. And be like, you're the best. You're just the best.
so yeah, I got that all set up. And then, I missed a doe last year with that bow. I was telling a buddy of mine today when he dropped this one off. I had two come in, um, two nice sized doe.
Yeah.
They came in about 7 yards, and I was up in this pine tree in my climbing stand, and I know my whole backdrop was hidden. I was perfectly set, and a little doe walks up and looks straight up at me. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even move. I didn't do anything. She just looked right at me. I was like, okay, well, I've been seen, and the bigger doe was right there next to her and looked up at me too. And I had the bow in my hand. So they went back down to feeding, didn't pay no mind to me. And I went to go draw on her. And in hindsight, I should have waited till they got a little further past me, but I didn't. I was too excited.
Yeah.
And I drew on her, and she took off running to my right. And she got about 40 yards and she stopped. And she was looking in front of her. And I was like, if she walks that edge, and I ranged a tree, I was like, that's 45 yards. I practice out to 55
Jeez.
just in case. And I
Yeah.
I won't ever take a 60-yard shot, but
Yeah.
it's just for a scenario like this. And she got to a 40-yard mark, and I'm looking, and I was like, I there it's clear.
Yeah.
So I drew, I stopped her, I let it fly, and I could watch the lighted knock headed right for her.
Bro.
And I'm watching, and then the knock goes flying, and she takes off running, and I thought, did I hit her? There's no way I didn't hit her.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through my rangefinder, I'm looking, and I was like, I see the arrow in the tree where her vitals were. So I gave it about an hour and I climbed down, which was the longest hour ever. Because I was like, I don't know if I actually hit her or if I'm just sitting here for nothing.
Yeah.
I climbed down, I walked over and I look at the arrow that's in the tree. And I was like, and I turn around and look, I deflected off this tiny little twig right before I hit her.
No.
And that arrow was dug into the tree. So I unscrewed the arrow and I'm looking at it and I'm flexing it, making sure it's good. And I'm looking at the fletchings. I'm like, there's no blood. And I walked around for a good 2 hours making sure there was no speck of blood anywhere. I didn't even hit her. And I was like, well, that's that. I don't think I'll ever take a shot like that through the open hardwoods.
Yeah. I mean, when you said 40 to 45, I'm like, God, dude, that because I've always like I do the same thing, right? Like I try to be sighted to really I'd like to be sighted to 100. But
Mhm.
obviously in Georgia, we're not taking those shots. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe in Colorado I'd poke at 80, but that's in itself, that's a long shot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I've got a couple spots that you could probably get away with 35 to 45, maybe. Public land, you
Mhm.
definitely could. But the thing I was always told is like anything between 30 and 50, they have a ton of time to react to.
Oh, yeah.
So when you said that, I'm like, how did this go?
She
What
didn't
happened?
even move. It
That's
deflected and I missed her.
Deer are just so weird, man. They're just so like you never know what they're gonna do.
Nope.
I'm convinced they're psychic, to be honest. After last season, I'm fully convinced because I swear, and maybe it's just Georgia deer. I don't know, but it's like they know. And I mean like they walk into that little area that, you have like, we feed in
Mhm.
Georgia, right? So I don't know if it's got anything to do with that, but I mean, I got blown out last year. I couldn't even see her face. I saw her feet and then she
Yeah.
stomped. And my wind wasn't even going towards her. I wasn't moving,
Yeah.
none of that stuff. And yeah, they're weird, man. Deer,
Mm-hmm.
I hate deer too, honestly. Just deer and turkeys, they suck.
Well,
Um,
I had the 11 I was after behind the house. That video I sent you, of the trail cam of him walking.
yeah,
Um, I was home late going to work because my wife had a migraine and I needed to help with the baby who at the time was like not even a month old yet. Um, and so I'm sitting there, making sure the baby's okay. And then I get up and I go and look in the back and I see deer in the backyard. And I was like, okay, okay, couple doe. And then I see a six and I was like, okay, nice little buck. And I walk over and I look behind the shed and there's a big old 11 point laying down behind the shed. And I was like, ooh. So I run back into this room. I grab my bow, I grab my release, and my plan was to sneak out the front door, keep me in the shed between us, and then try to stick him
yeah.
as I round the corner.
How far from the back of the shed was he?
12 yards.
Oh, gee.
I snuck
Wow.
around the shed. He was gone. He wasn't there.
Yeah, because he knew you were going after him. I'm telling you, they're psychic. They know.
Yeah,
Somehow they know. It's ridiculous.
but I've lucked into big deer. Like I said, I when I first started hunting, I didn't know anything, about rubs, scrapes,
Yeah.
trails,
Didn't know any of
anything
the
of that
sign to look
nature. When I
for
went
and
in
any
for
of that.
rifle season, I would pick a spot that looked decent and sit down. And I sat down for my first buck. It was right before I deployed. Um, and I sat down and I fell asleep.
Mm.
And I woke up, it was like 9:30-ish, and the sun was hitting me right in the face. I was warming up, and I looked to my left, and I'm gonna turn this so that you can see them. Maybe.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
It's all blurry, but
it's
that
blurry,
big
but I see a
11 was
rack,
standing there.
Yeah.
That big 11 was standing there broadside at maybe 100 yards,
bro. You got him.
and I dropped him. I hit him with a double lung heart shot. With that, I hit him with a 223.
Oh, wow.
I have a Howa Axiom 223. It weighs about 14 and a half pounds. It's got a bull barrel on it, and the thing's nasty. But when I shot, he disappeared. I was like, oh, I missed. I missed the biggest deer of my life. Never gonna
Yeah.
get a shot at one like that ever again.
Hate
And my
those
dad
days.
comes over and he goes, well, did you hit one? And I was like, if I did, he's the one everybody's been after. I can
Yeah.
tell you that. And we walked over and he was laying there dead. And my dad grabbed
Dude.
me by the shoulders and was like, "Dude, you shot the biggest buck I've ever seen on this mountain." And he got on the radio and told
That's
everybody.
awesome.
And I dragged him down and I was sitting next to the logging road with him, waiting for everybody else to come down. And I had two trucks drive by. And the one guy stopped and he goes, "Hey man, ain't that the deer that was on your trail camera?" And I turned ahead and the guy goes, "Yep, shovel G2s. That's him."
Dude. That's amazing. That's so
I
crazy. Did you
I
ever score
haven't
him?
no, never scored him.
Man.
I
No,
need
I
to.
need to
I'd
see a
love to
picture
know
of
what
this
he
deer.
is.
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you a better picture of him.
Yeah, just send over a picture. I'll look at it. We can discuss it after this. Because
Yeah.
what I found on here when you try to show pictures for whatever reason, it doesn't usually pick up. Plus, I mean he's dead now, so I guess you could show it on here. But
Mhm.
Yeah. If I had a step ladder, I'd just pull him off the wall, but
that too. Oh man. So Cody, what's up, brother?
So, not much, man. Man, I've been all over the place chasing turkeys. I
The little velociraptors, man, will drive you crazy.
Yeah, they have been my nemesis until this past weekend. I started off in Florida. It was different. And then Georgia obviously opened up. Been going pretty much every weekend, and then I was going up to West Virginia to film. And Garrett's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at my in-laws. Do you want to hunt Maryland?" And I'm like, "Sure." So 12 hours, 9 hours to West Virginia, and then another like 4 hours to Maryland, to Pennsylvania to meet up with him.
All for a
Got in the
bird.
car, yeah, and I was on the phone with him from three
Crazy.
to four until I finally showed up. He drove, and then we went and got on some public, and we heard one, and
Now you got turkey nuggets.
yeah, I
I
do.
like
Uh,
it.
but we left and went to the other side of the mountain, and um, we heard a hen when we walked in. Then she stopped. Got on. We heard a car. There was a truck coming up through there. That kind of messed us up for a few. Uh, we got down and checked some fields and come back, and um, I'll let Garrett tell because his story's a whole lot better because he's the turkey man. He's the turkey whisperer for sure.
so I had told Cody, because there was a truck down where we pulled in, and I said, "Well, I don't want to drive down this logging road because if there's a guy up in here, I don't want to ruin his hunt. That drives me nuts when I'm sitting there trying to work a bird and a car comes down, gravel popping." So
Yeah.
we parked the car and we walked. And we walked in, heard that hen. So I yelped back at her, and then Cody goes, "Wait, I think I hear a truck coming."
Mhm.
And I was like, man, I knew this was going to happen.
It
Okay.
did.
So I stopped calling, and then it was some kid, and he was just driving through the game lands was all he was doing. And
Yeah.
we walked, it was what, 2 miles back there to the
Yeah.
fields. And by this time
Hmm.
it was like 75 degrees. Cody and I were both dying of thirst because neither of us
No
grabbed water
water,
before we
no
got out
nothing.
there. And
Jeez.
I kept telling Cody, don't worry, dude, it's all downhill from here. It's all downhill from here. Well, we kept walking up hills. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Very
kept
So that's
telling him,
all uphill.
very what's the word? Enthusiastic.
yeah.
Hmm.
So we walked back and we had a truck stop, and we were talking to him, and Cody and I were just going to ask them if they could just drop us off at, at his car. And we stood there and stared at each other after the conversation. And I said, well, good luck, guys. I wasn't even going to ask him for a ride. It's like I told Cody
Told
after
us.
the whole thing. I said, man, it's a good thing we didn't get a ride with those guys because this never would have happened.
Oh,
So,
Yeah.
there's a plan for everything. And so those guys left, and then we walked around the horn where we heard that bird yelping, and I said, hang here. I'm gonna hit the slate one time and see what happens. I hit the slate,
immediately. Immediately.
and he gobbled at the top of the mountain, and then a hen started yelping, and I was like, hey Cody, we're killing this turkey. It's 10:30, we're killing this turkey.
And then
Um,
Maryland, you have to. It's only 2 noon, too. So we had an hour and a half to get it done.
and
Jeez,
so
man.
we got
Wait,
down
hold on, hold
between,
on. You can only turkey hunt until noon?
yeah, and Maryland up
What?
until the next part of the season. So first half of the season's till noon, second half of the season's sunrise to sunset.
Why?
Uh, hey, I'm not the biologist that created those rules.
Huh. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That makes no
I
sense to me.
So my guess for that rule is to take pressure off the birds through the first half of the season to allow them
Yeah.
to breed, give the hens time to calm down and go sit on their clutch and relax, and the toms can go find their hens. And then the second half of the season, when everybody's nesting, then the toms are still looking. You can go shoot one in the face and not have any
Yeah. I mean,
repercussions.
I guess I get that. I don't know. It's almost like what's that one state that you can't hunt on Sundays?
Uh, it's up there, you isn't it? Pennsylvania, isn't it?
Yeah, used to be PA.
Yeah. Oh, they got rid of that?
So this year, or last year actually, they opened up all Sundays except for turkey season. This year, all Sundays are open again except for turkey season. Obviously, waterfowl because that's a federal law. And
Yeah.
then next year they're opening up turkey for Sundays, but we are losing our bonus turkey tag.
Mm, man, they give and take. It's
Yeah.
Well,
crazy.
so I'm okay with them doing that because they want to see if there's going to be more of a, harvest with an extra day in the season.
Yeah. I just never understood the no deer hunting on Sundays thing. Like,
Neither
I
did
get
I.
it if it's, religious reasons or something, but I still think like, you can go to church Sunday morning and go out in the woods Sunday
Yeah.
evening. I've done it. So I don't
I think it was,
understand like what the thought behind that was. I mean, that was a law for a pretty long time, wasn't it?
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was irritating because especially for the youth turkey opener,
Yeah.
right? So the youth get one weekend to go out without anybody else in the
Same
woods
here.
except the kids. And if that Saturday it's crappy and raining, that's their hunt. Crappy,
Yeah, that
rainy
sucks.
hunt.
I don't like
So
that.
next year I'm pretty excited for the youth because they'll have at least 2 days to hunt that weekend.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't make the laws. I just follow them
Neither
most of
do
the
I.
time.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
everybody on the Facebook groups that are like, oh, this is dumb, you can't do this, can't do that, and now they're doing this and they're getting rid of the bonus turkey tag. And I was like, hey man, the turkey population is, some people say it's declining, some people say they're seeing more birds. I'm seeing a lot more birds this year,
Yeah.
but I just say, hey, there's people with education higher than me that are making these decisions for a reason.
Yeah. You think their education's higher than yours. I mean, maybe they have a paper that says so, but
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I get really into the weeds with this sort of thing because, like, Georgia, and I actually did an episode on this when it first came out, but Georgia had their first case of CWD, and you should have seen I mean, Cody, I'm sure you saw it.
No, I did.
Everybody was flipping out, and I'm like, let's figure out what's really going on, right? Because I've
mhm.
heard different things. I've heard from some people, like I had Lindsay Thomas from QDMA, or what is it? Is it QDMA or is
It's
it
yeah, in
NDA?
National Deer Association.
Yeah. Okay, that's what
Indiana.
it was. I had him on like the week that it came out. It was like an emergency podcast or whatever. And I pressed him on it. I'm like, listen, I have heard through the grapevine of reliable sources that DNR as a whole pretty much inflated the numbers of CWD deer because they wanted funding, because they get funding from the government if there's more deer. How
Mm.
true is that? And he said, he's like, well, there's no proof of that. I'm like, okay, but let's be honest. Like, is CWD really that bad? Because if it was, we'd have dead deer everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
And I have a big issue with, when they try to, like Illinois, for instance, right? They don't allow baiting. Well, baiting can help deer in the Midwest, during the wintertime when it gets extremely cold. So do I think baiting needs to be legal everywhere? I mean, whatever. It's the state. They can make their choice. If anything, it doesn't make it easier. You might be able to see some does, but try killing a 6-year-old buck over bait. Not going to happen. It just I've seen pictures of them. I've never seen one in person, at least over bait.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel like the CWD thing, it kind of sounds somewhat similar, to like y'all's laws, because to me it just doesn't make sense. If there's no, I feel like EHD is more of an issue than CWD.
We had a bad bout of EHD in PA and Ohio this past year.
Yeah,
And I would say a lot of people said it attributed to the dry. We had a very, very dry year last year.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. I after COVID, I'd stopped trusting the government with everything, and that means all types. You like literally, you tell me, oh, there's zombie deer, not gonna believe it till I see it. And if I lose an arm, I lose an arm. It is what it is. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I could really go in the weeds on that, but I don't want to.
But
Um,
yeah,
so
that
go ahead.
the turkey hunt, we can get back to that if you want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
finish that up.
Yeah.
I told Cody, I said we need to get between the hen and that gobbler before he makes a move. I said it sounds like he's making a move, and then he gobbled again, and he was much
It's
closer
closer.
coming down the mountain. And I was like, yeah, we need to move now. So we got down, and it was like the flattest part of the ground that we had come across, and we climbed down in there, and leaves were crunching, and I said, Cody, you're going to sit here, and I'm going to walk down another 5 yards, and I'm going to sit down. So he sat down, he got his mask up, he got ready to go. Actually, I think I had to tell Cody, get your gun up, um,
Yeah.
because he was sitting there and his gun was down, and that bird gobbled, and he sounded like he was on the road. And I said, Cody, get your gun up.
yeah,
So he got his gun up, and he was sitting there, and I got the gun sitting on my knee, and I'm calling, and it's easier to call to a turkey when you can see it, when you can watch. It's just like a deer. You can grunt at a buck and know how he's going to react to that
yeah.
with his body language. Turkey's the same
Most of
way
the
because his
time.
head's going to change colors
Mm.
and his
Yeah. Oh,
posture is going
dude.
to move.
I've seen
So,
that snood shrivel up
yep.
way too close to my face before. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm telling you, man, these turkeys, they want the
Yeah.
He
smoke. I don't know why.
Yeah, and there's two of them at this point. I look and there's two. So I put my fingers up and I was like, there's two. And he goes, so then he flips in a mouth call. And at that point, the one is probably 40 yards to my left. And he's drumming, he's strutting, his head's still red. Well, then next thing I know, he's right behind me. So I got to feel the drum. I mean, he was like, at that point, I'm like shaking. Garrett's like, that I was shaking because he's 15 yards behind me.
Yeah.
And he says, woo, woo, and he's strutting, and his head goes from red to blue to white. And I could have shot him there, and I was trying to get like comfortable but not move too much. And he gobbles again, and he steps out behind a tree, and he was 20 foot from me. So
And that's when you just take the butt of the gun and just right on his head. You don't
I
even have to waste any ammo. Just knock him out.
I'm sure Cody heard me when we first heard him drumming. I started drumming back at him. I used to have a spit and drum call from Flextone that I left in a backpack that got soaking wet, so the call got all nasty and
Oh,
destroyed. And I
jeez.
can't find that call anywhere.
Yeah.
But I sat there and you could hear that bird and the other one start drumming just and it was just nonstop. So I started drumming
Yeah.
back, making them think, oh, another gobbler just came up from the backside and he's trying to get with this hen too. Um, so I just started drumming too, and then it got real quiet, but all you could hear was the drumming and the leaves crunching. And I thought, okay, they're closing in. So I start scratching leaves, because I can't yelp at this point. They're gonna see. And it was thick enough that we were playing hide the hen pretty well. And that I was like, man, the bird sounds like he's getting down behind Cody. I need to send this yelp out to my right and up front. So that was the only time I yelped. Well, I had put the wrong mouth call in that I didn't want to use the one I used.
Yeah.
And being in that situation, I just reached into my vest and I folded up my mask, stuck a mouth call in, and started yelping. And the yelping you hear in the video is the most embarrassing yelping that I've ever heard, but it worked.
Hey,
Like
if it works, man.
I listened to it back and I was like, man, that sounds horrible. But it worked. But
word.
I threw the first yelp out, and that bird gobbled at about 15 feet from Cody,
Mm.
and you could feel it in your chest. And at that point, I knew Cody was like probably about to black out.
And it was my
And
first. That was my first turkey ever too.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Oh, wow. Well,
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
yeah.
and
So I wouldn't have been as tore up if it wouldn't have been, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Well, I mean,
pretty
it's like your
intense.
first deer, you know?
Yeah.
You shoot your first deer. It's an experience that you don't know. And I'm sure at some point I will get in the turkey woods, so I'll know what it feels like. But having been chased by turkeys and all of that, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get emotional. I'm probably gonna be like, "Ha,
You will get
got you."
emotional. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'll be emotional,
It
but
was
I'm gonna be more
emotional.
like, "Yeah, that's what you get. You wanted to
Yeah,
chase me down in a golf cart at a veterans camp? Yeah,
yeah,
I killed you." Like
yeah.
it's bad, dude. I don't mean to make it the whole thing about that, but like I literally do have issues with turkeys. Because I listen, Jurassic Park scared me as a kid. Okay. So when I saw this one turkey one time when I was at work up in actually near you, Cody. I was up in Jefferson.
Okay.
And dude, biggest bird I've ever seen. I mean, Velociraptor, if I've ever seen one. And I've seen a 4 foot tall chicken. So imagine how big this thing was. And dude, it freaked me out for whatever reason, because I'm like, all right, I'm alone. It's 6:45 in the morning on a Monday. It's extremely cold. What is he doing here? And then I ended up finding like a bunch of jakes that were down in this little swamp area next to the building. And that was cool. They didn't like me, but that was cool. You know, I tried yelping or whatever. I can't yelp to save my life. So I don't know what I sounded like to them. I was really looking for deer. But yeah. See, I think honestly, the only turkey that I really, really have like an interest, I would go on this trip if somebody offered it. Um, is the ocellated turkeys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
them
sure.
things, dude, they're so cool. It's like a turkey peacock mix. I said this to Tim Knight, I think, a few weeks ago. I was like, dude, that's the only one that really kind of strikes me as, because I've seen Easterns, right? I saw some in Colorado, whatever they have over there. I think it's Merriam's.
Yeah.
Um, they were cool. They're really cool. I don't know. There's something about it. Like, I'd want to
the
make mine goofy. I'd get that
the
snoot.
ocellated turkey, the fan and the feathers are super pretty,
Are
but they
they?
are the ugliest thing I've ever
Yeah.
I
seen.
mean, if you can show me a pretty turkey, I will give you $100. So and pardon what I'm about to say. I know I try to keep it clean on here, but their faces look like shriveled up nut sacks. So
Yeah, yeah.
I just
My
yeah.
wife makes fun of them too.
Yeah.
They're easy to make fun of. Like
Yeah.
my buddy Josh killed when he brought it to the house, and my daughter saw it as her first turkey she's ever seen, and she's like, "That thing's ugly." I'm like, "Hey, hey, hey, right." but have some
My
respect.
my favorite video that I seen and podcast that I listened to was when Theo Vaughn sat down with Steve Ranella
Oh
He said
and
this
God, dude.
and
stupid.
he
I low key
started
was pissed.
trashing the turkey, and it
Yeah.
looked like Steve was gonna get up and
Uh-huh.
I
walk out
was
of that
pissed
room.
at Steve, man. I was like, dude, come on, it's Theo. You
But
can't get
what do
mad
you
at
say? He's
Theo.
stupid. He's like, there's the dumbest bird or
They
stupidest.
get picked last for gym class.
Yeah.
He would. He would. I will say that. Now, if you're talking oscillated or not oscillated, Osceola, whichever one it is that's pretty, the multicolor one. I can't ever remember, but you talk about those,
Yeah.
they're
No.
probably the star athlete, right? And then you've got the other turkeys, and it's like, do you mind if I gobble right now? It's like the nerds of the bird world. Um, and that's no disrespect, right? I don't know. I've got a past with them.
I
So
just, man, there's if if deer gobbled and fanned out and spit and drummed, I would probably enjoy it a lot more.
I mean, have you ever been blown at by a doe?
Yes.
Okay. You've heard of snort wheeze?
Yep.
Have you ever seen two bucks bristle up by each other?
Not
No.
yet.
All right. So when you see that, it's basically the same thing. They're spitting, they're drumming, they're fanning. The only thing they don't do is gobble, and I guess you could say a grunt might be a gobble if you've got like a special buck, just to put it nicely. But I haven't seen one. I've seen a midget buck, but I haven't seen that.
But
I don't
there's
even know if
just
that can
something
happen.
about like I've been deer hunting pretty much my whole life, and I just started turkey hunting 3 years ago, and I've been close, and I've heard them like over in the next ridge, or
Yeah.
I went to Florida, and I mean they don't really gobble down there because of all the predators, but I went a few weeks ago up to Dahlonega with David Burton from Yahula,
Yeah.
and hearing them, but having one 20, 15, 20 yards, or even when they were 40, 50 yards, and being that close, and every time he'd stop calling and he'd hit it again, they were closer, and then it walking out and gobbling right beside of you. Well, it's
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 different.
intense. It's different. It's so
Yeah.
different.
Well, and I hope that everything I've said, I don't want to take away from the respect
Yeah.
that I do have of turkeys. I really like, I do respect them. It's just, like I said, get chased by two Jakes that are velociraptor size
Definitely.
on a golf cart and then tell me how you feel about them. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm just trying to do my job. I wasn't even like hunting. I was just checking fire extinguishers. And next thing you know, I see these two Jakes and I'm just like to them, and they just immediately are like, and then they start coming after me. And I'm like, did I cuss you out? I'm sorry. I don't, thank God I'm on this golf cart. I'd be fighting these two birds. So it's comical to me, man. It really
It
is.
is.
But I'll get out there eventually. Like I said, I
Well, we
don't,
still got a little bit of time. Get with me. I don't know. I mean,
bro, I don't have any time right now.
yeah, you're about to
I,
move too.
well, I'm actually not. So unfortunately, I think I mentioned a little bit of this in the intro, but what, it's been a rough week. I'll just say that. And, if you guys listen to the intro, you're going to hear me kind of go into it about why it was a rough week. It wasn't just the house stuff, but I got a little, I hope I didn't sound too depressive because I don't normally get that way. But long story short, we had a house. It was right there next to Ace and Social Circle, right? Like I literally
Okay.
could have probably thrown a stone at it. And it was perfect. My wife loved it. And we put in an offer and they accepted it. And then
Mm.
last, no, not even last, it was 2 days ago. Tuesday, I got home and I was helping my wife with some stuff around the house because we were putting ours up for sale, and we were gonna have someone come take pictures. But we sat down and we kind of crunched the numbers a little bit. Somehow we got on that topic and we basically decided that we are just not ready to do it. There's too many things in this house that need to get fixed, that if we fix it in a year or two, we can get plenty more money for it rather than taking the short route and then basically eating ramen noodles for every single week or every single
Mhm.
meal. It's just not worth it. As nice of a house as it was and the location was perfect, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So
Yeah.
you can imagine how that's been. And then everything else that's happened. It's been a lot,
It's tough right
so
now. Like we're looking at moving to Florida,
why
but
would you, why?
because of work.
Oh, but
Yeah.
there's no deer down there. There's like,
There's deer.
there's deer, but
There's deer. I can come up here. I mean,
that's
there's
true. That's
deer.
true. I
And
just,
like,
Florida
yeah,
I'll
there's
admit,
deer.
I have to give Florida their credit. I have seen some nice bucks come out of there.
Yeah.
I have, but
Seen
there's
some
also
nice ones.
swamp apes
Yeah.
and pythons and pigs and
And
gators.
tons of
Death.
turkeys. Tons
There's
of
death.
turkeys.
There's
There's
death.
death. There's
There's death.
death. Yeah.
And there's retired people, which I'll take my bet with a gator, honestly. I've seen some of the leathery
Retired
folks down there.
retired people can make driving a real hassle
Oh
sometimes.
yeah. Go to Clearwater and go to the retirement side, buddy. You want to talk about dangerous? Phew. I'll take my chances with a pack of wolves before I go do that. Um, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a lot, man. And I don't know. I want to ask you guys and kind of change gears a little bit. Because I've sort of been focusing on this a lot. Like I did it with Josh last week. I did it with my buddy Dustin Cole. I'm gonna do it with you guys. How do you get through, or let me ask it this way. How do you deal with men's mental health? Because we all get down, right? We all
Yeah.
have times, whether it's hunting, whether it's family, work, life, whatever. How do you guys deal with it?
Mm.
Whoever wants to go first.
I was going to let
For-
Cody go first. I spent
Okay.
a lot of time talking.
Oh, you're good. Cody, you got the floor.
I've dealt with it a lot lately, especially the last 2 years. Um, I mean, there's days because I worked in the steel company for 8 years, and then I've got the opportunity to go and travel, but um, I'm buried in my phone a lot, so I don't think about it because I'm always working on something. But I just
You're good.
enjoy, going to hunt or fish or just getting out there. I just kind of shut down from time to time, but I'm like, hey, you got to get back up. You got stuff to do. You got a family. You just got to keep going. Um,
Dude, that is one thing I think that a lot of people don't understand, mainly wives. And I don't mean that as a joke or a dig or
Yeah.
anything, because like I got super vulnerable with Jessica last night about everything that's been in my head. And I'm like, if you could see what's going on in there, you'd understand, And like, I mean, thank God for Jesus, right? Thank God for himself,
yeah,
because
yeah.
without him, dude, I
That's
would not be sitting here. Like, it's that bad. And I just, I didn't mean to take over your
no,
explanation or anything,
no.
but I'm trying to really see how other people handle life, because like I'm interested by it,
I'll
especially in the
just be in
hunting.
the
Go ahead.
I'll just be in the woods and like, or just by myself and like, okay, you put me here for a reason, and but I know if he put me there, he's going. If he brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. Is what
Yep.
I'll always go back to.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you're here. And there's days I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I take a risk of, having basically when I say 9 to 5 and good insurance and a paycheck every week that there's been months in between in the last 2 years I haven't made no money. So, but then I'll get a few jobs and I'll be okay. So
Yeah.
I just pray about it. It's the only thing I know to do.
Hey, that's the best thing you can do.
It is.
It is. All right, Garrett, what you got?
So for me, growing up, I watched my dad working crazy hard because my mom didn't do a lot. She worked at a furniture store and didn't do much, but my parents fought all through my childhood, and then they divorced in my 10th grade year, and then both remarried a year later, which was crazy. And um, I'm not gonna air out all my family drama because it's wild. I was even talking to my wife about it a couple nights ago, and I was like, I just keep thinking about my dad, and she's like, well, maybe you should call him. And I was like, nah, he's dead to me,
Yeah.
that kind of deal. And I'm kind of going through it right now, but like growing up, it was you hide all your issues as a man is what you are supposed to do.
Yep.
You don't cry in front of people. Um, you don't talk about what you're going through, and you just keep burying it.
Yeah. You basically have no problems as far as the world knows.
Yeah, you are
Like you
supposed
say,
to
I'm
be
fine when you're not.
the strong person,
Yep.
and that's not the case. And being in the military, you see it a lot, and that's I could count on one hand how many close people I know that have just gave up and went home, you
Yeah.
know? And on the other hand, I'm like, man, I wish I could have,
Yeah.
or wish I would have. And then I just beat myself down. But, I spend a lot of time talking to myself, which sounds weird, but if I talk to myself and kind of talk myself through what I'm going through, I can some some way, shape, or form find that light at the end of that tunnel that I'm stuck in. And if
Yeah.
I'm really stuck, I'll sit there and talk to my wife about it.
I think that's a big thing people need to sort of know. Cause like, dude, I mean, I was raised the same way, especially like my parents split when I was 8, or no, I was 5. And then my mom remarried, right? And like that guy became my dad or my stepdad, which he and I butted heads for years. And now he's my dad. I mean, he raised me. Like I am who I am because of him. But,
Hmm.
I still had my dad around and all that stuff. And like I remember, I don't know if I said this on Dustin's episode, but I'll say it here. I remember one time talking to my dad about everything that happened, like with him and my mom. And he never admitted to it. And then I went to go see him one time, and I don't know if he was in a bad mood or maybe I was being annoying or maybe something, right? But he literally said to my face, he was like, "Yeah, I didn't want you to be born. Like, I didn't want you here." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, Dad. I'm a teenager dealing with, teenager problems. Thank you for that. That you just added to it. That's awesome." And we talked about it afterwards, and like he apologized and all that other stuff. But, that stuff sticks with you, man. And
Hmm.
I think what it is like, you know, you know what? I'm gonna air it out for you guys. I'm gonna see what you guys think, or if you maybe feel this way, right? So we all follow Christ, right? Garrett, you and I have talked about it. You actually
Hmm.
said something. I'm gonna read this message right here. I don't think you understand how much it meant to me when you sent it. I'm gonna have to go back because we have been blowing each other's phones up. But where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Dead silence on the podcast. That's never good. Okay,
It's
he's telling me about the
it's been
bug.
a while since we've talked. We've both been so busy, and I apologize for that.
Who, you and me?
Yeah, it's
Oh
been a
yeah,
while.
dude. Well, and I feel
We
like
need
a
to
lot of
stay in touch
times.
more.
Well, yeah, I'm my
We're
phone's
close.
always
We're
open.
close. We're an hour. I mean, maybe an
I
hour.
know. Well, one day I'm gonna have to get you in person.
Yeah.
I would need to figure out what our plan is with the house first and
Okay.
kind of fix this little setup that
That's
I
why I'm
got.
not in mine. Mine is a mess right now.
Dude, I can't. Man, this must have been a
Was
good.
it the we just out of nowhere just got real deep, and I think we ended that conversation with, if you ever need anything, I know you
Yeah,
know me
that's the
for
one I'm
daddy,
looking for.
but please just get a hold of me. I could probably find that too.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Da 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 da. Talk about turkey. Talk about Jesus. Okay. Okay, I found it. So basically, it was because these are very long and there's a lot of stuff in there that I doubt you want me to say. So I'm just gonna paraphrase it. But
Say it, man. Hey,
well, I already got rid of it.
all right.
Anyway, I'll paraphrase it. So basically, you were just telling me how much you appreciated the fact that like I will talk about the faith on here, and you're not the only person that said that, but the way that you said it hit really like I appreciated it a lot because basically what I've been sort of struggling with lately is I'll come on here and I'll talk about it and I'll profess the faith and I'll, talk to buddies about it and be like, yeah, man, if you're struggling with this or do that. And then there's times I don't live it. So then I feel like a hypocrite. And I was telling my wife last night, I was like, if people knew who I really was, like the things that go through my mind, right? And the things that I struggle with and all this other stuff, I don't know what they would think. And I don't really care what people think, but at the same time, if I'm going to preach Jesus, I know that I need to live it. I can't just say, I'm not one of those Sunday morning Christians that's like, "Oh, I went to church, but last night I was at the bar getting drunk." Like I don't do that. But there's parts of my life that haven't changed, right? And I've prayed about it. I've I was watching this video actually today about like Theo Vaughn recently did an episode. I'm not going to call it a crash out, but he was saying he's just tired of his story. He doesn't want to keep living the same story. He wants a new story. And he was saying he was praying to God one day or night, I can't remember, but he was saying that when he prays, he's got this little like voice in his head, like he knows what he's saying, but then there's that little voice that he knows is himself, where he's being real with himself. He's like, I know I'm going to do this again. And he's like, so what I started doing was praying and saying, God, I know that I'm saying all this stuff. I need your help. I want you to step in my life, but take the part of me that knows that it's going to happen again, that I'm going to do the thing that I don't want to do, and come into that part of my life. Right. And till I heard that, I was struggling, man. Like I really was. And then I heard that and I'm like, okay, maybe that's the approach I need to take. But I'm curious if you guys ever
I
feel.
never thought about it like that
I
because
haven't either, so
that's real too. I like that though.
yeah. I
It
mean,
sounds
I
like a
just am
prayer
curious
that I
if you guys
put.
have like those moments where you kind of feel maybe like a hypocrite, like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'll tell someone, hey, Jesus is king. He loves you. This is what he has for you. But then when you're by yourself,
Mhm.
that's when maybe a side of you might come out that like people don't need to see. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Whenever all that craziness, media have talked about that. Um, but whenever I started, because I went a long time without going to church and whatever, and then all that happened 2 years ago, and the stepping back into it, and it was Johnson Porter from Realtree, and he was like, if you pray when things are good, but you're praying when things are bad, but pray more when it's good because
Yeah.
you can't just put him back in the corner and only need him when you
Yeah.
need him. You've got to be consistent and and do it every day. And life gets crazy, work, kids, me traveling, and like there's days, and it'd be like 4 or 5 days since I prayed, and I, what am I doing? I got to do this every day. I can't just pick and choose when it's convenient for me.
Yeah.
Eric Church said it best. God's not a wishing well.
Dude, 100%. So many people think that he's just a sky daddy that grants
Mm-hmm.
wishes,
Yep.
you know?
Let me win this Powerball. Let me win this truck. Let
Yeah.
me do this. Let me shoot the biggest deer I've
Oh
ever
God.
seen while I'm
Now
sitting
you're
in the
saying what I
woods.
used to say. And
There's a prayer my father-in-law and I, before we go out to hunt, he always says the same prayer, and it's, God, you know what's in our hearts and you know what we want, but we'll be happy and thankful for whatever you put in front of us.
yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. I
Yeah.
just I guess what it is like, so we just recently started going to this church and we love the people there. It's perfect. It like literally, dude, the nicest people I've ever met. And I think what it was is my own, what's the word? Um, self criticism, I guess, where I'm like, okay, I walk in the door and these people don't even know who I am. Like the very first time we went there, we walk in and they're all like, "Oh my, it's so happy. We're so happy to see you. We're so glad you're here. Here's the bathroom." They were showing us around. They were like, "Thank you so much for coming." Blah 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 blah. One of the guys apparently knew Jessica from when she was a kid, which was crazy. Um, and I immediately, when we left, I was like, "Dude, I think we found our church." But then I started self-analyzing, and I'm like, "Okay, I got baptized 2 years ago. I've been doing a super deep dive, and yet, what has actually changed?" And I really started seeing some stuff that hasn't changed. And I'd started really getting on myself about it. I'm like, dude, what are you gonna like? Why are you still doing this? What?
Mm-hmm.
How can you do that? How can you sit there and tell someone, hey man, the way you're living your life is not right. Go read the book. But then when I'm in that position, do I listen to it every time? No. And I know that God's grace is sufficient, right? Like he literally said that himself. But it's I think at times it's hard to maybe accept that, you know, because everyone's got a broken piece of them no matter what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, how do you how do you guys get around that? Like when you start feeling like how I'm describing, like what do you do?
I try to self reflect.
Yeah.
Where where I am now and where I want to be, and I try to do my best. And backsliding is I don't want to say it's a normal thing, but it is normal.
Yeah.
That's where that free will kind of comes in. You kind of miss
Mhm.
your old ways and you slip right back into it. It's just like when I tried quitting smoking the first time. Um, the man did, and I'd watch Band of Brothers, and they're smoking a cigarette every single. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Every single scene, there's a cigarette on Band of Brothers. That's the worst time to try to quit smoking, is sitting
Yeah.
there and watching movies like that, because you're like, man, I really want that cigarette. I really want that. And I finally put them down when my son was born. I was like, I gotta stop. Gotta stop. I want to be here for him. I want to go hunting with him. I want to
Mhm.
enjoy all that stuff. I want to play tag and run around in the yard without having to stop every 15 minutes to
Yeah, because
breathe.
you're winded.
Yeah.
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 But I just think about where I want to be, and I try to picture that, and I can't. It's corny to me to do it. An old boss I used to work for said, make yourself a vision board as to what you want. And they weren't real big on, Christianity or any religion. They just believed in the universe having plans, is what they would always say. And I would just say that in my head as God has plans.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so he was like, if you make a vision board and look at it every single day, you're going to work harder towards that goal.
Yeah.
Well, as a Christian, if you open up your Bible every day, it's going to push you to want to be better, I guess, in a
Yeah.
sense. I can tell you, I haven't opened my Bible in a very long time. I also haven't been to church in a very long time. I was burned by the last church I was at, just because I wasn't allowed to be a worship leader with smoking,
Mhm.
while I was smoking. Now, I didn't
Mm.
smoke on church property. Somebody saw me smoking in my car, and that was that.
Mhm.
And then that, the church kind of used me as their mechanic, because I'm a mechanic.
Yeah.
So they, hey, I need help after church. Can you give me a
Mhm.
hand?
Of
Can
course.
you do this for me? Can you do this? And every time I walked into church, somebody had a problem with their car.
Are you sure you don't
And
live in Georgia?
He might as well
I
because
know, dude. Like,
whenever I went up, it was like being here, the hospitality between him and his wife and his brother-in-law and his mother-in-law and father-in-law, and we sat down, and I had no sleep, and there's like, take a nap, you gotta take a nap, or eat, make yourself at home, and everybody,
yeah.
just the hospitality, and his father-in-law prayed over the meal, which was nice, and they were super super, the the hospitality was there, and it
Well, and see,
was
that's
and it
why I
was like
bring this
being
stuff
here.
up. That's literally why I bring this up because I want people that are maybe interested in getting to know who Jesus really is to see the truth. Because dude, I grew up Catholic, right? And there's nothing wrong with Catholicism at all, right? Like there's a lot of things they teach that I'm like, hey, I rock with that. But my family was burned by them too. And
Mhm.
my wife was burned by a church that she used to go to. A lot of people deal with that. And one thing I have noticed, because we went to a bunch of churches around here, and I'm not saying it's just the South, but I'm going off of experience. A lot of churches in the South, you go there and everybody's clicked up. If you're not dressed to the
Hmm.
nines, you get judged. If you
Hmm.
don't tithe or whatever, you're getting judged. And then you can just tell when you walk in that they don't care if you're there. They're just putting on a show. And like for me,
Hmm.
I really try not to judge for that because they're in their own place and doing their own thing. I doubt Jesus would appreciate me judging them. But I also know what the word says, and I know my experiences with him, and like that's not genuine, So that's why I bring these things up on the podcast because whoever's listening, I want them to know that you are probably going to go to some churches that's going to happen. That's not the
Mhm.
faith. That's not
Hmm.
what it's really like. Once you find the one, it took us 8 years, 8 years to find a church to go to. And now it's like we're part of the family. And that is what it's supposed to be like. So, I mean, I'll tell you right now, man, like one thing that, and I said this in the intro, but I'm gonna tell you guys too. I've been praying for Jess to get closer to God because she's the reason I found him like fully. But once I found him, I started feeling like, the annoying husband that's like, oh, well, the Bible says so and so, and just one of those like push it down your throat kind of people. And so I was praying for like probably a year to 2 years where I just was like, God, I don't know how you're going to do it. I was like, but if I'm going to get closer to you, I know she needs to get closer to you. And I want to raise our daughter in the right way, like the way that he designed.
Hmm.
And boys, I'll tell you right now, that talk that me and Jess had last night, she blew my mind because I leave early for work every morning. And she was telling me that sometimes it feels like she thinks like I just don't want to be around the family, which isn't true. I just really have to get to work early. And I was like, there are some days that I could probably stay. I was like, but I get stir crazy. And I'm thinking she's going to say, well, why don't you go tinker with your bow? Or why don't you do this? You know what she told me to do? She said, if you've got an extra 15 or 20 minutes, why don't you do a daily devotional? Buzz, I literally about fell out of the bed. I'm like, you said what now? And then she's upstairs right now watching some TV show on Angel. Like she told me that she's wanting to, fix the parts of her life
I
or
need
give the parts of
this
her life to God and let him handle it.
one that really helped me that I've got. I'll have to find it and send it to both of y'all, but it really helped me a lot. It like really helped me self reflect on myself and just and it's in a drawer, and that's the worst place for it to be because it needs to be on a nightstand. But I'll send it to both of you. It really helped me. Um, it's just a daily devotional.
Dude, send it my way.
Okay,
TJ Gibbons sends me stuff all the time, and I'm so appreciative
I
of it
like
because it's
watching this
usually at the
stuff
right
too.
time. I was gonna try and get TJ on sometime soon, but probably not gonna happen just with how busy
Um,
everything is.
it was funny, because Garrett one day we were talking about podcasts and he'd mentioned about start one. I was like, "Hey, have you heard?" I asked him, "Had he heard yours?" And he's like, "No." So I sent it to him. Just putting people in
Cody,
each other's lives
what
because
did you do to him, man?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, man. I fell in love with it the first time I heard you. You went into it. I can't remember what episode it was. You said, I know some of y'all are probably just going to skip right over this just to get right to the meat of the podcast, but I hope that you actually listen to it. But I'm about to talk about Jesus, and I was like, oh, this is good. This is going to be good. And I just started working at this new body shop as a mechanic, and one of the guys came over because when I'm not listening to the podcast, I have Pandora playing in my earbud, and one guy came over. His name's Gabe, and he goes, what are you listening to? Because he saw
Yeah.
me bopping. I was just bopping around the shop. He goes, what are you listening to? You're bopping so much. I said, Casting Crowns, bro.
Oh, dude,
And he goes, you listen
awesome.
to Casting Crowns? I said, yeah, it's playing on my Corey Asbury radio station. And he goes, okay, where you go to church at? And I
Nice.
said, we don't have a church right now. And he goes, you'll have to come down to where I go. So we're we're finding the time, and I keep saying that we got to find the time, got to find the time every Sunday morning, got to find the time. But you know,
It
as
only
you know,
takes one
six
time,
month
dude.
old is kind of hard to do.
Yeah, that will. I think Jesus understands
Yeah.
probably. Um, yeah, it's just so important, dude. Like,
Hmm.
because I mean, yes, I say that I do have moments where I feel like a complete hypocrite, but I also can look back and see how I was 3 years ago before
Hmm.
I had started any of this. Not the podcast, but before I started really trying to figure out like who is Jesus, and the change that I've seen. And I'm not saying that to be like boastful or anything. I'm basically saying it to give him glory because it's all because of him. Everything that you see in here, which isn't really a lot because of the screen, but the podcast and stuff, the people that want to work with it, getting to, have buddies like you, I wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for him. Because I used to, and I really need to get back to doing it, but I used to do a prayer before every episode. And I would just be like, Lord, this podcast is yours. Take it, do whatever you want with it.
Hmm.
And I remember saying that quite a bit. And then there was one time that, I mean, I really dove into it. And I'm like, look, this episode, everything with this podcast is yours. Like, I know I was holding back. I'm not holding back anymore. Take it. And if you make it stop, so be it. I'll go do something else. But thankfully that didn't happen because I really do enjoy this.
Well, I can tell you he's definitely using it because that dream you talked about your last episode,
Oh,
like I said,
bro,
I sent that message to you. Man, that
gnarly.
that gave me chills.
It's gnarly. If anyone listening has not listened to that, I think it's like about half it I didn't even go into full detail. That's the crazy part. And I would, but I might tell you guys after this because it literally would. I mean, it's 8:21 right now. I thought we were going to be done 20 minutes ago. We wouldn't be done till 11 o'clock if I really went to every single little detail. Um, but it was nuts, man. And like I've told a few people and they kind of look at me funny, you know? They're like, "Oh, well, that sounds just like a dream." And I'm like, "Look, man, go look at the Shroud of Turin. For those that don't know, go look that up and then tell me how that was created because we can't figure it out. And then
Hmm.
go see some of the AI pictures that people have taken the shroud and put it into a real person. And when I tell you that's exactly who it was, connect the dots.
Mm.
Clearly that was not just a dream because I've had weird dreams. I've been chased by zombies. I've ran around high school naked. I have literally had my wife beat me with a bat. All right. In my dream. She never did it in real life. But it was completely different. It was completely different.
Well,
So
when you started it, I thought you were going to go into like, oh, I just had this nasty sleep paralysis dream, and
uh,
even my wife knows. Like, I'll have some of them dreams, where I'm laying there and I'm trying to scream and I'm like half awake,
yep.
but things in the room are moving around and I can't yell, I can't scream, and I can't do
Had those
anything.
before.
And then when I finally wake up, I can't go back to sleep.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you guys a story of mine that was like that. It's only happened twice. There's a reason I'm not gonna say it on the podcast because it shows honestly how stubborn and stupid I can get, but also it's pretty scary. Like it's not something that I think people would want to listen to. So I will tell y'all after this.
Okay.
But all right, before we wrap it up, because it is almost 8:30 and I've got to get my daughter to bed. What is coming up for you guys? What's happening in 2026? What can we expect to see? Are you Garrett, are you going to come to Georgia and
Um,
hunt?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get it
eventually,
down.
eventually, I'd like to make my way down to Georgia. May not happen this year.
Okay.
Um, I just, I'm finishing up my contract with the National Guard. I'll be done
Mm,
in June.
okay.
So then all of that'll be done and over with, and I'll be able to do more with more time, more weekends. Um, and then with my son, I don't want to miss too much,
No, I don't
right?
blame you.
So
I don't blame you
he's
at all.
he's grown up. My dad wasn't really in my life. He missed most of my track meets and my district track meets for turkey season. Could care less about showing up to watch me pole vault through the air.
I'd
But
go. That sounds cool. I'd be terrified, but that sounds cool.
but no, I'm planning on. I told Cody I'm getting diving deep into this self-filming thing, and that's why I started my TikTok and my separate hunting Instagram page just to try to do something with it, whether it goes somewhere or not. It's for me to.
What's your TikTok?
It's the same as my Instagram, the Roostin' Ridges.
Roost. Oh, we're friends already. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it, got it. I hardly get on there. So like if somebody follows me and they got some cool looking stuff, I'm like, "Oh, I'll follow you." I'll probably never see it, but I'll follow you. So,
Yeah, I
okay.
haven't made many videos just because it was right as turkey season was coming in. Like our season, this weekend's youth season, and then next weekend I'm going up to um, the other regional director for Serviceside, his camp, to get a guy his first turkey or try
Dang,
to.
dude. Okay.
Um,
Man, you doing the
I
big thing.
really enjoy watching people flop a bird more than I enjoy flopping my own bird.
He told me the other
I
night
thought
we had a meeting on service side, and he told me, he said, I feel like a proud dad. Like, holding his neck. And like, I said,
that's
dude,
funny.
I'm like, I'm the, like, I'm the dad
I
because I'm older, but it was good. It was good to meet him. And, person we've talked pretty much every day now. And,
yeah. I
we
thought
just
you were
not
about
got,
to say that you enjoy seeing a bird flop more than you see a deer drop, and I was about to be like,
No,
"There's Harrison number
no,
two."
no. I do enjoy putting a tag on a deer, and I love sticking one with an arrow, and I love shooting one with a gun. But yeah, I love calling birds in for people
Yeah,
and watching them fill that tag. It's very oh, it's a
fulfilling.
very good feeling.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't
but
know.
yeah, I'm
I'm
going to,
just-
I'm going to go up to Pennsylvania and hunt with him in the fall for deer. Um, Again, trying to get him down here. And if you want to tag along with me and go, or
Yeah. I live by two public land properties, actually three. One of them is open all year. I don't really know. I heard a rumor. All right, it's just a rumor, and you know how us Southern boys like to tell rumors and stories around campfires. But
yeah.
I don't hate me for doing the accent. I heard a rumor about. Dang, Cody, I thought you were gonna laugh at that. Now I feel bad. He's like this dang Yankee. He ain't no Southerner. Um, no, I heard a rumor about this one buck on public land that's near me that's open all year that I potentially could be pushing 160.
Careful
Okay.
now.
But
Careful now.
Don't say
but
where. Just call me later.
well,
I'll go film it.
it part of the rumor doesn't really add up because A, that sucker be dead by now. It's only 200 acres. It's not that big. And B, it I was told by a guy at the archery range that they have that he hunts 1,000 acres that butts up to it. And I looked at the map and there is no 1,000 acres that butts up to it.
Are you talking about a certain public land that's not far from you on the left?
Did you say on
Or,
11?
yeah.
I don't think it's on 11, but you're in the right area.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
No. You're talking of another place that does produce deer that big. I've seen
Okay.
them myself, and one got killed last year. I'm not talking about that's 6,000 acres. That one, I without a doubt, that's where I would take Garrett. That right there. If you came down November, the second weekend of November, which I know would be tough because it's rut, but if you came down then, brother, I would, as long as it's cold, bring a grunt tube, some rattling antlers, and a bleak can. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you that archery weekend, you will see some big deer.
Mm-hmm. At
I'm
the
not.
national at Oconee.
I'm not saying the name. I'll tell you
Oh,
after.
okay.
I'm not
Speaking
doing
of
that.
archery, Eric, when are you gonna get a saddle? I'm
Well,
telling you, man, you got to do it.
actually, you know, this is a perfect time to bring up the fact that, and everyone that's listening already knows, but Lone Wolf just partnered up with the podcast, so probably not for a long time.
Okay.
I know they make them, but
Yeah.
I did not go that route. I went with 3 sticks in a stand and then some
Mm.
aiders. So I'll be doing the Cody DeQuisto style probably. I might. I mean, I've sat in them before. I've actually thought about buying one just as a not a replacement, but like a what would you call it? Like another version of a harness because I don't really
Mm-hmm.
like the whole harness deal. But I did read some stuff that they're not as safe when you use them that way. So I don't know. I probably will end up getting one just to play with it.
If you decide to try one, I would recommend just trying like they make a good kit. XOP makes a good starter kit. It comes
Yeah,
with everything you need ropes wise. You just need to buy sticks, but you have
yeah.
sticks.
I have
So
plenty of sticks. I
yeah, it
don't
comes with a platform, saddle, and your ropes, and that's all you need. And it's like
don't know how well they'd go
170
over.
bucks or something like that.
Yeah,
I have an
I did look
XOP
at that.
hang on.
Yeah, I can't comment on that right now.
Yeah.
Um, again, another thing I'll tell you after we get off of here.
Yeah.
It's just there's reasons. Anyone that knows the history of those two companies, they understand why. But
Yeah.
um, no, I have looked at it, and I've got a buddy actually that has a saddle that he's like, man, he wants me to go home with him all year, every year, and it's like, dude, I can't hunt as much as you know. But
Mm.
he's always because I've always used a climber. You know, I used a climber for years, and last year I switched to a hang on for most of the season. Got really used to it, really liked it, and but I don't hunt high. The highest I'm probably going to be going is, I mean, with 3 sticks and 3 aiders, I could get up there if I needed to. But my goal and knowing the spots that I'll be hunting, aside from public land, I'll probably only be 12 foot up. You know,
You
I'm
don't even need to get up that high.
exactly
If your
like
cover's 6 feet off the ground, then
get
that's
in
where
that.
you need to be.
Exactly. So we'll see. It's going to be a learning curve. I'm very confident with it. But as far as the saddle thing goes, I may end up just trying one out. You know, go to a show, put one on, hang there.
That's the best.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried the JX3s before. They were pretty comfortable. Um, but if I'm going to use one, I want to be completely encased in it. I don't want to be sitting on like a butt pad with some straps. You know, and I'm not talking crap about it, but
Right.
I know how much I move or probably would move, and I'd fall. I would totally fall. So, but I have a couple stories to tell you guys. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Why don't you guys tell everybody where they can find you, and then I'll tell you guys some stuff the listeners don't need to know.
Okay. Facebook, this is Cody Dowdy, and then Instagram, and well, Instagram's still the Scales and Times, and TikTok is the Wild Echo, which is news. So go over and check it out. Appreciate it. And I'm dropping our turkey hunt on YouTube when I finally put it all together. So it'll be on YouTube.
To piggyback off of Cody, his that YouTube episode, we're gonna drop one that's gonna just break down that hunt. There's a lot of good takeaway information to go with that. We just need to find the time to get together and do that.
Yeah, man.
And then mine is just my Facebook, Garrett Cragle, and then Instagram and TikTok are both Roost and Ridges.
Gotcha. Good plugs, boys. Garrett, I gotta tell you, I don't know why I thought you were a ginger. For some weird reason, dude, it's like everybody I know this name Garrett is a ginger. And then you hopped on here, I was like, oh.
So I'm the only one out of my three brothers that was blessed with curly hair, and I hate it.
I was gonna say blessed or
Cursed.
My daughter's got curly hair. It's a curse. It's 100% a curse. That's funny, man. Cool. Well, boys, thank you.
Dude.
Thank you.
Dude, you definitely need to grow an afro. Are you kidding me? Grow an afro, shave the beard, keep the stash, go 70s. That's the way I look at it. Call you the afro bow hunter. No, really, I appreciate you guys coming on, man.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry
Appreciate you.
I want to do another one with y'all, probably closer to season. Once all this chaos starts kind of slowing down a little bit and I can kind of get back on a good scheduling system. And you know, we can chit chat deer. Cody, I know
I'll give it.
You're gonna start having, you know, but actually, Garrett, you run cameras too, right? Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah.
You sent me videos. So I'm thinking July, August, maybe. I don't know. Oh, Garrett too, and Cody. I'm sure you've already heard about it, but July 11th is the 4th annual bow shoot,
Okay.
and we are giving away the main, because we always do like a big giveaway thing. I wasn't gonna ask Lone Wolf like, hey, can you send a whole setup and spend $2,000 on this brand new partnership that you've got? Thanks. I didn't do that. So we're giving away the it's behind me, not there, but there. Whitetail Max from Bear that is not given to me by Bear. It's one of my old bows. I shoot Prime, just in case Prime is listening. But I figured I don't shoot it anymore. It's fully rigged out, so whoever wins it's gonna get the bow, a quiver, maybe some arrows, maybe, and then a dialed Arxos sight in Bottomland and a trophy taker SmackDown, I think SmackDown Pro Rest. So it's gonna be fully set up, and if they need me to set it up to draw length or whatever on the spot, I can do that. So if you guys can make it, you might walk away with a bow. Who knows? Just practice at long distance. It's gonna be a 110-yard shot. So
Oh wow.
yeah, we gotta. Which I may not do it that way this year, just because half the people that make those shots, they're shooting bows that are 5 times as expensive, and they don't need it. So I may try to think of something else. But anyway, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry I was rambling.
No,
Thanks for having us.
And I guess we'll see you next time. Oh, and by the way, guys, don't forget, Christ is King.
Christ
Go
is
read
King.
your Bible. Go shoot your bow.
Hey,